Welcome back for another video. I'm Eharbad, and in today's video, we're going to look at the autumn equinox path. In fact, we're kind of going to talk about all the events that are going on, including the fact that it's 2x void, and I would actually like to pull. I meant to record this video whilst we still had the 10x active, but I got busy, and so I missed out on the opportunity to potentially get the new Void Legendary. Oh well, these things happen. In terms of the tournaments that are ongoing right now, I find the rewards on the Fire Knight turn attack pretty disappointing, but we do have 3x regen, which is interesting in its own right, so we'll circle back to that. And equally, the Ice Golem turn attack. These are pretty lackluster rewards. I don't like the fact that we only see the Primal Quartz in the top 3 spaces. I think if we saw something on the guaranteed rewards, it might encourage more people to participate. I've really not done either of these on the main so far, and I won't be, basically. On the main, I have decided I will do the champion training event. I don't want to do it, but I think in the long run, this is probably a reasonably good way of getting a mythical skill tome. Like I said, I don't want to do it. I'm kind of tired of champion training, but I think it's the sensible thing for my main account to do. We'll talk about the challenge account as well, but I wanted to first share my thoughts on the current sets of tournaments and events from the perspective of my main account and what I'm going to be doing. Now, in terms of the autumn equinox path, I have shard saved up, I have soulstone saved up. I was always intending on pulling during 2x void event, as it's the best chance to get void legendaries for my account. And generally, I don't have that many void legendaries, so chasing 10x's at this point in time isn't really an efficient use of my shards. So I'm happy to pull during 2x. I would have liked to have pulled during the 2x 10x overlap, but I wanted to record this video and I didn't have time, basically. So this is the penalty for trying to create content for you guys. I will say that these mythical tomes down here at 20,000 points, I think, are very expensive, and I will personally not be going for them. What I will be doing is going, well, I mean, we don't really have a choice, right? We have one path, but I do intend on picking up the Greater Oil and both sets of Superior Oil, a solitary 5-star chicken, and probably just one legendary skill tome. But I would definitely prefer to get 2 legendary skill tomes rather than one mythical, particularly given if we can get the mythical from other sources, I think they're going to be more efficient gained elsewhere. Now, if we jump over to a little spreadsheet I created, this tells me if these are the reward path I'm going to go down, and obviously pick up that extra Greater Oil Speed Glyph and Superior Oil. Oh, I forgot to mention when we were going through, I would like to get both Speed Glyphs. I'm not sure whether I can circle back, so it might require me to get both epic tomes. If it does, then I have to add another 4,000 there, and that will change the equation somewhat. Let's just add that in. I do think I will probably have to do that if I want to get that speed glyph there, so that becomes a 9,000 point speed glyph. Oh, it's a 6-star speed glyph, so it is attractive, but a legendary tome at this point would be 10,000, so it's a toss-up. Do I want a speed glyph and an epic tome, or legendary tome? We'll consider that momentarily. It doesn't really massively change the points. It's either 60,750 or 61,750. I have about 5,700 points currently, and obviously we've still got nearly 2 days to go, and I will pick up other points purely by playing the game, predominantly from Dungeon Divers. But if we have a look at the main sources of points in this one, I want to be pulling Void Shards that I would have pulled during the 2x Void event anyway. Typically I'd pull around 40 roughly. I think it's between 30 and 50 typically gets me that first legendary book from previous videos that I've done with previous calculations. I could dig them up and provide them, but I just can't be bothered, to be honest. And then I have quite a number of soul stones as well. I've been saving up for a long time to be able to summon them, and I just want to try and get some more coverage on the blessings, to be honest, particularly as I was tinkering around with trying to get a stable Fire Knight 10 hard team on my main account. And the fact that I don't have blessings on any of the key champions is a problem. So do want to be summoning there. And essentially going to do 40 voids. That'll get me 44,000. I obviously already have, like I said, nearly 6,000 in the bank. So that's really up to about 50,000. And then on the Mortal Soul Stones, I have 180. So I could summon, between 80 and 100 and still have a good amount left over. Probably I should look to supplement this with some Mortal Soul Stones. Potentially even do less Mortal and a touch more on the Immortal. So something like this I think would make sense. That leaves us with the 5,700 we already have. So even potentially I could go down to 3. Yeah, so 40, 70, and 3 I think is a good approach. Like I said, I will probably decide late on whether I do the speed glyph or a second legendary tome. I'm not entirely sure. Now, as I was mentioning about the mythical tome, if I did want to get an extra 20,000 points, I'm looking at roughly summoning an extra 10 void shards, an extra 30 mortal soul stones, and an extra 4 immortal would be one distribution to be able to get it. And it seems quite expensive. My personal preference would probably be to try and complete a summon rush where we already need to get quite far. Say we need to get, in a summon rush, we need to get, say, like 4,500 to get a epic for a fusion. And then they have a couple of the mythical skill domes on the way to 7,500. Probably prefer to invest the extra sacreds at that point, because I'm already quite deep in and you can pick up 2 or 3. We'll have to see. We're going to kind of play it by ear. At the moment, we don't have a mythical anyway, so it's kind of moot, to be honest. And I will get one from the champion training. And if we're ultimately going to see different champion training events either giving us mythical or legendary, given how few mythical champions I expect I'm going to acquire, I don't need to be chasing too many of these tomes. But I think for the time being, I would rather not waste resources unnecessarily going after a tome that I may or may not need. Right, if we jump back into the game, like I said, I think on this epic skill tome aside, if I do want to get this second speed glyph, probably won't let me go backwards, but we'll find out. All we do know is we want to summon 40 void shards, which I don't quite have space for. I will just quickly see if we can do something on this. Let's just quickly level up a couple of 1 stars. Go here. 1 brew and 3 other level 1s will be sufficient. That should give us enough space to summon our 40 void shards. Fingers crossed. I think I have most of the void epics. There's not really much we can get on the epic side that's going to be of interest. But there are so many void legendaries I don't have, so obviously that's what we're really hoping for. But we are only summoning 40 shards, so there's a good chance we will not see a legendary on this set of pulls. So far, it's mostly been rares, which is pretty disappointing. But like I said, this is on the main account. There's not any void rare that I need. Oof, 10 void rares is pretty bleak. And this is why I just not that thrilled by summoning. Ragnar's actually technically new. We did get him for a fusion at some point in the past, but obviously had to use him in the fusion. And I've kind of wanted him for ages. You get this really big Doom Tower aura, and he brings a decreased defense weaken, so he's actually quite nice in certain speed farming compositions. I think he's quite good if I remember correctly for Magma. But I can't remember exactly. But yeah, not a bad set of champions actually. We picked up on the epic side. Madame is obviously a great champion, but it's really kind of been power crept, and Polymorph was kind of the final nail in the coffin. Obviously, Seer fantastic, but already have multiple copies on the main. I actually wasn't counting. Is that our 40th shard we've pulled? I think it might be. Tree Shield not very good. Yeah, that is the 40. Yeah, Tree Shield not very good for faction wars if you're struggling on the faction. And yeah, that's pretty much all that can be said about that. Now, on the Soulstone side, 70 mortal and 3 immortal. We don't quite have enough space, I don't think, but let's get summoning and then we'll have to sell some along the way. So the first 10, what are we going to get? 5-star Warcaster. I mean, 5-star, great, epic, solid. Warcaster, kind of useless. So, oh well. Yeah, it doesn't really get much use, old Warcaster. We got Legendary. Alsgore, not someone I actually have. Soul Bond on the wish list. Actually, before we go any further, let's actually update the wish list. So I no longer need Godseeker. I do want Farrakhan. I still want Ugo. I'd say I don't want Shamil anymore. Who else do I want? That is a good question. So Ugo I still need for Hydra. Farrakhan I need for the what do you call it? Fire Knight. Maybe I still want Shamil. Probably. I think Shamil would still make sense, although both of mine are reasonably highly rated now. I think I've got 3 and 4-star. I would still prefer something higher. Newt, we do want up here. In fact, I'm going to drop them and try and go after this Fire Knight 10 team. So Yakal and where is Elva hiding? I don't actually know what. It looks like it's faction ordered, doesn't it? And there is Elva. Yeah, Elva, Yakal, Newt. I have a 2-star. Enough, probably. And then the rares are just whatever. Rares are fine. Let's be honest, this wish list is kind of irrelevant. It's very rare that it actually has that much impact, but it's still better than nothing. So I will make sure that I have the champions that I really want in there. Like I said, it would be nice just to get at least get Farrakhan and Ugo. Visix, a legendary there, only 1-star though. Nina, a sign. I mean, these are just mostly 1-star, kind of not that worthwhile for me at the moment, to be honest, because most of the time you can just pick that up in the shop and they're not that expensive. You really want something a little bit higher. A 2-star legendary is good, 4-star epic, but for rare, it's kind of like if it's not high, really high, then it's kind of pointless. Rolney, my first mythical soulstone, but like I said, no mythical champions, and the chances of actually getting one is pretty low. We have summoned, I believe, 50, and we need a little bit more space. So let's just quickly go to the collection. We know absolutely no problem. I can sell 1 and 2-star rares. So that's no drama at all. 3-star, I'll probably hang on to those for the time being. I'll look at them after. So we got, what, 20 more of the mortal and 3 immortal. See if we get anything on the wish list. Oh, the wish list is so bad. You just really don't summon on the wish list enough. given that you can just use the shop. Nelia, Great Champion, another mythical, only 1 star. Luria, 4 star, not too bad. Missionary, 4 star. But nothing on the wish list, unfortunately. That's our ones done there. And then I said 3 of these, which will actually get us up to the coin. Nice T3 coins. Rare. Really what we need. Come on, one of the wish list. Give me a Farrakhan or an Ugo. I'm not greedy. I could have been asking for a legendary, but I'm not. 2 rares so far on the tier 2 soulstone. It's epic. Is it wish list? No, it is not. Yeah. Like I said, it's just disappointing, isn't it? Visix is new at least. Get the 1 star there. Vrask 2 star. That's a marginal improvement for us. Baroth is also new. And Hylar is also actually new. Still not made it to 6 star yet, this Hylar. It will eventually. And now, how have we done on the Equinox event? Doesn't matter what side we go down. Go down the left arbitrarily. So we'll just click all the way down. We know we're going to pick up that greater oil. Obviously, get the gems. Get the epic skill tome. Get this East glyph. 6 star speed glyph. Very nice that. It takes a long time to get those from Faction Wars. Obviously, it's just going to roll a 3. We know that. But pick up both superior oils. We can't go back. So if we do want that, we will have to go the long way. Here, like I said, personally, I'm going to get the 5 star chicken. And I'll pick up 1 legendary skill tome. Now, I'm going to leave this for a bit because I'm undecided whether I want another 6 star speed glyph or another legendary tome. But they're both available to me, and that can be decided momentarily. Right, let's jump back on the challenge account, and I can show you what I've gone for there, which is slightly different to how I've approached it on my main. So be right back. Right, we are now back. And on this account, I have actually done some Ice Golem turn back. Want to try and finish 6th if I can, get the 75 gems and get the 50 gems here. Decent return. And I'm also then going to push along in the Fire Knight turn attack, not because this tournament is good at all, but at the stage of the challenge account for me, 3 times regen is highly valuable. I'm just farming stage 24 using this team. It is 100%. And I would say anyone who's not ultra endgame, most likely regen is a set you do want. So it is well worth farming for that alone. I've decided that on the challenge account, I need a mythical tome even less than I need it on the main. So I'm not going to do the champion training event on the challenge account. I am skipping that completely. So that is something I won't have to worry about. One thing I do want to mention about the champion training event on the main, I'm going to do the majority of it during PRCVC. There's a lot of CVC points that I can gain there, so there's a decent amount of efficiency. I will use my daily energy up until that in champion training, but the majority of the tavern work, the brew work, the champion rank ups, ascensions, all of these kind of things will go during CVC. I say ascensions, but actually, because it's an event, ascensions don't count, if I remember correctly. That's only for tournaments that they count. Yeah, we only get level and rank, which is a shame because in champion training tournaments, we now have ascensions and books both count as well, but they haven't added it to events, which is kind of frustrating, particularly with the overlap on the CVC and the fact that we're going to be doing quite a lot of booking. But anyway, as I was saying, that's the approach I've taken. As for the Equinox path, honestly, pretty much the same as the main. I think the oil is even more valuable on my challenge account because I can't farm these high levels. Legendary Tome, obviously very strong. 5-star chicken, really appealing on the challenge account. But I think I'm going to go down a similar approach. I have been saving these voids for this exact reason, for 2x void weekend. Still want to summon. And I also have a decent amount of soul stones, and I might as well summon them and get some rewards along the way. To be honest, on the challenge account, I'm tempted to summon even a bit more and pick up extra legendary tomes. Either way, we know we want to do 40 voids, so let me just create some space quickly. I'll be right back with you. Right, space for 40 pulls is made. I've not yet had a void legendary on this account, and this must be like the third 2x voids we've pulled. Decent number, and they're straight in with a legendary. And it's a Hegemon who's actually new for both of my accounts. I've never had him on either account, but he's really not the champion he used to be. I mean, he's very good for arena for me on this account, particularly tag team, but he's not really going to come in anywhere else. So, as void legendaries go, he's no longer what you would call top tier. Actually didn't really pay attention to who the other champions were. Got so distracted. Here, Painkeeper's good. Already have him. Double Void Legendary. It's trying to make me continue playing the account, isn't it? But another pretty disappointing one. Sylvan Watchers I have beaten. I don't have this on my main either. But at least, for a account, I'm probably not going to continue that much longer. Pulling 2 Void Legendaries, the fact that neither of them are actually ones that I'm really that excited to play with, probably a good thing. Don't have to feel too bad. I don't think there's any Void Rares that I particularly need. That is a lot of Void Rares right there. We've done 30. Let's do the final 10. We'll maybe check the champion logs and just sort of see who we've got. Seer, we picked her up. We missed her on the guaranteed. Instead, we've pulled during the 2x, picked up 2 Void Legendaries, and still got Seer anyway. I think we did the right thing in that regard. If we look through the index, let's see who is new. We've picked up, who is new here? Confessor. I confess she is useless. On the Barbarian side, Suai. Actually pretty decent for certain kind of clan boss compositions. You got decreased defense, decreased attack, and weaken. You got good coverage on everything. You can kind of not worry about this decreased attack, even turn it off, and just focus A1, A3 in like an unkillable composition. Definitely not a bad champion. Overall, not quite weird base stats, to be honest. Like, probably better for a killable composition than unkillable. Doesn't really get used anywhere else. They did change this to AoE, so there are certain instances where you could use it. But yeah. And obviously in Clan Boss, you're never going to get these buffs, because she has to kill a champion to get to them. Who else? Orcs. What did we get in Orcs? Obviously, Steer, fantastic champion. Orc faction crypt is done. Demon Spawn. Haven't yet finished the Demon Spawn, and Fellhound is actually pretty nice because you get a continuous heal here, which can be helpful. You also can put Fellhound in a stun set. AoE stun with chance to decrease speed, pretty nice. And this can be quite clutch against the boss on the final stage. Just giving yourself a bit of block damage is no bad thing. Also very good as a campaign farmer. So yeah, Fellhound. A little bit forgotten as a champion. Hegemon, obviously as we said, fantastic champion overall. Really good against the Valk Wave in Faction Crypts because you get the block active skills and decrease attack. Also pretty good against the boss in that regard. And, the old passive always goes first. Really, really strong champion. A lot of fun from what I've seen, although I've never had him, so I can't speak myself. Golf Crown, another great campaign farmer, but also pretty useful in arena. Not so much these days. There's too many ways to counter her. And as we said, a little kind of bit underwhelming. Kind of already needs a buff. Relatively recent champion, but still needs a buff. On to the mortal side of things, we will probably, don't know what we'll do here actually. Maybe 50 if we do 50 of these, and maybe a bit more on the immortal side. Let's do 50 to start with on the mortal soul stones and do 5 immortal and see kind of where we are. And what have we got? Battle Sage, Spymaster Burungiri, who I do have, but I think I've already got a higher blessing, so that doesn't really matter. Demitha is good. We should probably check what our wish list is. Arbiter, Rex, and Theodore. Does that make sense? Probably does, overall. I would say maybe I'm going to drop Arbiter, Sun Wukong. Maybe drop Rex. Or who would I quite like to get? Maybe even Hegemon. Just for fun. For no other reason. Other than a bit of fun. Let's just do that. On the epic side, yes, Shamil, Beaker, Agnite. I don't think that needs to be massively changed. Maybe we could bring in Seer instead of Agnite. That might make a bit more sense. And then on the rare side, we don't need Frozen Banshee there. We don't really care about Raider either. Who do we care about beyond that? Probably Renegade, wherever she is hiding. Should be down here somewhere. God, I'm blind. I thought I had Renegade. She should be here. Section. Shouldn't she? Or maybe she's there's void by faction and then non-void by faction. Gotta bring in Renegade. And for the third one, let's throw Bellower. Why not? Sensible. Like those. Summon some more Mortal Soul Stones, see what we get. Arkan I do have, but I've never used or built. Carlinia I do not have. Renegade on the wish list. Double wish list, look at that. Let's awaken what we can. Demitha to 2-star. Always nice to get the extra blessing. We eventually build that clan boss team, that'll be worth it. Looks like my Renegade was probably that is my Renegade, she hasn't been ascended yet. Let's immediately take Renegade off the wish list and give myself a bit more coverage somewhere else. I would say probably Painkeeper, maybe Sentinel. I think Sentinel I already have a decent blessing on. Let's go for Soul Bond. Although she's not built on the account, in theory, if you ever did carry on the account, you would want her. And we've got another mythical. These do seem to be pulled far more than they should. Legendary, not on the wish list, obviously. Why bother? Really of interest there. Let me create some space. Be right back. Right then, let's pull another 10 mortal and see how we're getting on, because I wasn't really paying attention. Which is something that does happen. Another mythical. Clearly something weird going on with mythical pulls. Geomancer, great champion, but obviously we don't have him, so the soul is irrelevant. If we click on the Equinox path, let's just do the same thing we did before. See how what remainder of points we need. Keep going down here. Pick up both the superior oil, the 5-star chicken, and a legendary tome. So we actually technically don't need to pull anymore. These legendary tomes are quite attractive at this point. Definitely want to pick up another one at least. And you know what? Pull the Eternal. 7,500, that gets most of the way to the Legendary Tome. 5-star Epic, probably. Yeah, 5-star Dathy, who we don't actually have. If I pull on the Immortal, I think one of those, that gets me to 9,000. Another Mythical, another Throlny. How much do these sell for anyway? 140 coins for a Mythical, double the Legendary. It's quite considerably more than the Epic, and what was the Rare? 5. I mean, if nothing else, at least these sell for like a decent number of coins. I'll sell the dupe there. I don't know why I'm hanging on to these, because I'm never going to get the Mythical Champion, so it seems relatively redundant. How does this look here? Because to be honest, I might as well try and get all 4. If I really think about it, particularly on this account where I'm not necessarily going to need to play really long term. So I think let's pull the 8 Immortal Soul Stones we have. I'll benefit more if I get souls that I can use. Brogni 3-star, pretty decent. My current Brogni is 2-star, so that's an extra one. Ugh, another Mythical. What is going on? And another Epic we don't have. I mean, this is the problem with summoning, right? This wish list is trash. Beauregard. I mean, they just need to make the wish list much better. And at least be more exciting. So often you're just summoning these soul stones. You expect to get nothing. You're happy if you do get something useful. But more often than not, you're just not getting anything. So there we go. What can we awaken? The extra star on Brogni. That's quite nice. Aiden, actually, we got 3-star for him. Might as well give him that awakening. Raider, we get the extra star there. And what else are we looking? That's all kind of as we would expect. We can now pick up another 2 these legendary tomes. And if we did want one more, we could do another 10 pull on the Void. Should be well covered for the next event, and obviously we're nowhere near having enough Voids for guaranteed if they did give us one. Why not? Let's pull the other 10. Let me just create some space. Right, we're back. We have enough space. Let's get this 10 pull done. See if we get our 3rd Void Legendary. Unlikely, isn't it? Sky Touch, really good champion. Umbral, excellent as well. If we need for the faction wars, she is fantastic for Demon Spawn. I'm going to try and do it without, but we at least have her in the back pocket if required. 4 legendary skill tomes, that is not too bad. We'll see how many more points we get over the next bit, just naturally. Probably not that many, but we'll decide what's worth getting with our final points at that point. Obviously getting the speed lift would be nice, but I'm not that fussed. Technically, we do have some more soul stones to pull if required, and plenty of energy for CVC. Right, that is going to be a wrap. It's quite a long video in the end. Maybe I should split it into 2. Yeah, we'll see. I'll probably just put it out in 1. It's the way I go. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.